Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Esoteric and Magical Influences for the 8th through the 14th of August, 2021. I can't believe that. I mean, the year is over half over. I don't know. We waited. The between the election and the inauguration. I mean, we knew that Joe would be inaugurated, but I mean, it was scary. It was to see the insurrection, and I just I don't know what happened here. But clearly some people were duped into believing all kinds of things, and now here we are. We're like 7 months later, or over 7 months later, and we're still we still have not truly moved forward into what we're supposed to do about it. I mean, I know they're working on it, but it's like what's going on? And so it's like here we are, and we're in what, the second week of August now, and uh I don't know about you, but the weather is so weird. We live on the high desert, and we're just it's so moist here right now. The humidity is so high you can't breathe outside. It's that high. It's in the 80% range a lot of the time. Our grass is weird. This again, it's the high desert. We don't have that here. It's not that we don't have humidity now and then. We do, but for the most part, we don't. It's dry. And so we don't we're having to garden differently. I had to go out into the dome where all my most of my gourds and zucchini and squash are planted, and I had to like cut back a whole bunch of stuff and to get air to it because there was mold underneath. It was so wet. So I don't know. We'll see what happens out there. I'm really only growing that stuff for the chickens anyway, but because we don't really care for squash. So I hope you guys are doing well, and things aren't too different for you in your lives. But other than what we're dealing with now with the pandemic still, and the variant, that's looking really scary. So anyway, we're still continuing to wear masks even though we're vaccinated. We're still going to do that for the foreseeable future. And that's just that. So until we know more, until the CDC says, yeah, the coast is clear, and the coast isn't clear. So anyhow. But today's the 8th, Sunday the 8th. We have an 8 numerology, so material achievement and leadership and strength. The rune is Kenaz, or the torch, the light of spirit. You'll find Kenaz contained within many, many of the runes. It's just part of it. I like to take apart the runes and see what other runes I can find in them. And when you do that, you can really understand, I think, you get a greater understanding of what the runes really mean. And when you look at the interpretations, you kind of, I don't know, you see it with maybe some fresh eyes. So we have, oh, excuse me, that's for that's for Monday. Let's see, we have Tristitia. That's what I should have said. Tristitia is the geomancy rune, and that's Tristitia is sadness and loss and grief and condemnation. We have a new moon today. The moon's in Leo. Let's see, the human design channel's active at 8 a.m. in the morning when I do the chart. There aren't any. The magical focus for Sunday, the sun governs, and the favorability of working magic today is neutral. So with the influence of today's new moon, new beginnings, especially in the area of material recognition or achievement, may occur. Leadership possibly as well. Maybe you get a supervisory position or something. Guard against feelings of sadness or grief that could impact your interactions with others and allow your inner light to shine forth. With the moon now in Leo, your warm and generous nature naturally makes you the center of attention. That said, you'll want to keep your ego in check so that the center of attention doesn't become self-centered in the process. If you become too exhausted or distracted to meet challenges on Sunday, have the grace to step back and accept the decisions of others. Otherwise, you may overlook something that might seem insignificant, but in fact causes something to fail. So some restraint may be required until all facts are known. Monday the 9th, we have a 9 numerology. That's talking about endings, completion, generosity, humanitarianism. The rune is Suillo, like I tried to show you a little bit ago. Again, you can see Kenaz both above and below here, skewed, but still there. It's an as above, so below rune. It's the rune of the will, the rune of the sun. Let's see, Karser is the geomancy rune, and that's self-imprisonment. And so you don't, if you were to combine the two together, you would not want your ego to get in the way of things, and to keep you from moving on when you need to, be a little more spirit based in your reasoning. Let's see, the moon is in Leo until it transitions into Virgo at 7:56 in the morning. No human design channels active at that time. And magical focus, the moon governs, and the favorability for work and magic on Monday is excellent. So self-confidence increases, and you may experience an end to feelings of restriction on Monday. Let go of outmoded ideas or paradigms and take control of challenges that arise. Let's see, routine becomes an important part, or routine becomes important on Monday as the moon travels into Virgo during the morning. Virgo is very routine and task-oriented. Avoid a self-indulgent attitude and stay on task. Intuition is strong, and you have a greater understanding of where people are coming from on Monday. That said, relationships with women may be challenging, signaling a lack of emotional integration on your part. Sometimes you don't. You might not understand the feelings of other people, particularly women, and so there can be, some struggle where a little more nurturing on your part of both yourself and other people might get your head straight on that, or your heart straight on that, maybe. Assert your authority if in a leadership role with others while maintaining enthusiasm amongst the group. Adapt if no real solutions are possible to continue progress, but do so with cautious persistence. Delegate to others and move forward when the situation becomes clear on Monday. On Tuesday the 10th, that gives us a 1 numerology, or new beginnings, wholeness, unity, leadership, revolution even. Uruz, which is a manifestation rune. I mean, you can think about maybe manifesting new beginnings. Uruz itself, though, is the thought process, or the soul thought process, higher self thought process behind the decision to manifest. So it's actually further back. It's not the actual manifestation energy itself. Tristitia, again, is the geomancy rune. So again, sadness and loss. And grief. Virgo is the moon. No human design channels active on Tuesday at 8 in the morning. Mars governs magic, and favorability is very good for working magic on Tuesday. New thought patterns form as perceptions continue to shift regarding safety protocols and getting the vaccine. This, unfortunately, may be due to sorrow and grief experienced by losing friends and family to the new variant. This variant's pretty bad. It's affecting kids. These are challenging times, and it's time to step up on behalf of not only yourself, but on behalf of others as well. Let go of old wounds that prevent you from reaching your potential. Remain flexible and willing to hear ideas from others that explore new experiences, and focus on activities that enhance wellness and that achieve inner peace. We've been seeing this last week as well, where feelings are coming up. Uncomfortable truths just are spilling forth, basically. Well, they need to. So even though blurting something out might initially cause some issues, it's likely that it needs to happen. So hang in there with that. Again, we were looking at this in the charts last week. I was seeing that all week long, and I think it's all week long this week as well. Let's see. It's the Chiron influence, the Pluto influence, but more specifically Chiron, that we're seeing here in the aspects. Let's see, delegate responsibilities to others, including decision making, certain that a greater harmony result if you do that. Realize that if resources aren't there, you might need to find another path to the same goal as well. Move quickly so that existing resources aren't wasted, and dedicate yourself to overcoming challenges that arise. And that's on Tuesday the 10th. Now, Wednesday the 11th of August, an 11 energy, that's a master number, so that's awakening, illumination, again, the spiritual messenger. The rune is Laguz, or flow. The geomancy rune is Albus, or wisdom, or the wisdom of the sage, someone with white hair. The moon is in Virgo until it transitions to Libra at 1:08 in the afternoon. Synthesis is the human design channel for Wednesday, and Mercury governs magic, and the favorability for working magic on Wednesday is excellent. And that's going to be communication and interactions and justice and revelation and all that. So intuition flows well on Wednesday, and empathic awareness is also strong. With the master number 11 for Wednesday's numerology, wisdom gained and expressed can benefit all. So be cautious regarding the information you share with others. This is an empath's issue, really. Not everyone appreciates hearing someone else describe their innermost thoughts and feelings. And when you're intuitive and also empathic, especially if you're empathic, you're going to pick up on everybody's feelings, especially if they're, expressing them outward in some way. You're going to, the energy fields, the auras, they all overlap, and that's where that stuff is. And if they push it onto you, then they're essentially moving their energy onto you like an amoeba moves, And so that's what you're feeling. And so you want to be careful, though, when you're describing people's thoughts and feelings to them, because sometimes it's not well received. It freaks them out. So anyway, take comfort. Although the moon is conjunct Venus and love is in the air, excessive behavior might have a negative impact. So some self-control may be necessary, especially if uncomfortable truths come up. And that's what I was talking about earlier. A new strategy may be needed to preserve the relationship. And that's, that's, I think, I think that must be an aspect with Pallas or something. Pallas is the asteroid that governs strategy and all of that, and seeing the bigger picture. With the moon in Libra, strive for balance and harmony. I think I already said that, maybe, or maybe not. Take comfort in aligning with others to foster strength and security. Allow for a subtle approach instead of one that asserts or forces a single-minded agenda that may only increase confusion. It's when you get at loggerheads with people, suddenly you're not really sure what direction we're taking here, and what are we doing again? It's that kind of feeling. Know that a service to others perspective coupled with a collaborative approach will provide the best outcome. And I think that's what people often find when things get scattered. Sometimes it's just best to bring the people together and try to work as one, and suddenly things resolve themselves. I think sometimes we just get, if you've got a bunch of people working together and they're not truly working together, then you've got this idea and that idea and that idea and that, and pretty soon it's so scattered nobody knows what's going on. And I think that might be part of the confusion on Wednesday. Thursday the 12th, we have a 3 energy, mind, body, spirit balance, creativity, imagination, mental acuity, attention to details. It's a Mercury number, basically. Isa is the rune, so alignment and source presence or will contraction. It's the rune of the present moment or static realm. Puella is the geomancy rune. Now that's scattered little girl energy. So again, we're going to be guarding against scattering our energy again today, or on Thursday rather. The moon's in Libra. The human design channels, we have 3 that day: wavelength, mating, and synthesis. And they all kind of, are talking about similar things. Wavelength, though, I think is more about talent and the use of talent, but being on the same wavelength about that, it involves the mating and the collaborative approach there with mating and synthesis, where you're synthesizing ideas together. The magical focus, Jupiter governs magic on Thursday. Jupiter's also still in retrograde, so know that. The favorability is neutral for work in magic, but on Thursday you're going to maintain a focus on details so that you don't lose perspective. If circumstances become confusing, allow the situation to settle out before making any decisions. This isn't the time for self-indulgence, but one that requires steadfastness and self-discipline in order that you continue to make progress. If triggered by past issues, this is an opportunity to explore the message behind your feelings. Again, we have moon opposite Chiron in retrograde today, or rather on Thursday. But that's been the case. Have Chiron aspects with the moon all week long. Let's see. Common ground with others is possible on Thursday if destructive influences can be prevented. That said, an aggressive approach should be used only as a last resort, because that could get away from you. Maintain a rhythm with others and feel a shared sense of purpose form so that no one feels overly burdened by the process. So again, the other thing, along with the Chiron influence, we're talking about a lot of collaborative energy, both last week and this week. As being the way through and the way out of difficulties and challenges, is collaboration with others. Well, we have a Friday the 13th this coming week. That gives us a 4 energy, unless you don't wish to reduce it at all. And then it's the witch number, the number for magic and witchcraft. But if we do, then we're going to reduce it to 4, structure or foundation. Fehu, the ascending rune in magic. Also, it means cattle and wealth, and wealth though that is movable, and transportable and exchangeable and all of that. Laetitia, the opposite or complement of Tristitia. Laetitia is the geomancy rune for Friday, so joy and fellowship, and it portends good fortune. We're in Libra until Scorpio. Scorpio at 5:02 in the evening with the moon. Mating and synthesis continue to be the human design channels active on Friday. Venus governs magic, and the favorability is excellent on Friday. So Friday the 13th portends good fortune for you. While an innovative approach will benefit any practical concerns you might experience, it's your imaginative and intuitive sensibility that brings growth and success, and maybe a little magic into your life on Friday. If conflict arises, avoid overreaction. It's likely situational and will soon pass. Find a physical outlet to regain your balance. Clear the air if necessary, but avoid controlling the situation, especially if boundaries are the issue. Because, unless you're setting boundaries with others, I suppose that could be a little bit of level of control. But sometimes we don't respect other people's boundaries, or they don't respect ours. And, nothing good results from that, as we all know. If circumstances seem impossible, it may be that someone is refusing to engage with integrity, and you may need to remain adaptable should common ground be difficult to establish on Friday. With harmony as your goal, you might need to consult someone with more experience to offer a realistic or objective view of the situation. Now, lastly, on Saturday the 14th, we have a 5 numerology, so change, protection, freedom versus restriction. Think the pentagram. Tiwaz is the rune. That's the spiritual warrior within, reflects the god Tyr. But it's the spiritual warrior within to stand up for what you know and for what you believe. Cauda Draconis is indicates that's the south node of the moon in karma, but it also indicates the endings, whereas Caput Draconis reflects the north node of the moon and the future. But Cauda is about the influence of karma or the past on our present moment, basically. The moon's in Scorpio. Synthesis is the human design channel. Saturn governs magic, and favorability is excellent on Saturday the 14th. So a situation may be resolving on Saturday in a way that protects the sacrifices you've been making. Set the example for others to follow and be true to your word. With the moon in Scorpio, emotions may be at the surface. Avoid making decisions that are based upon impulse so that a realistic direction is preserved. If you need to step back to let your emotions settle, take the time you need. Meditate or take a walk in nature to regain your balance. Even just stepping outside for a minute, getting away from the energy of what's going on, just getting out into the air can be all that it takes. Just spend a few minutes outside, and it might be enough, to get you refreshed enough you can go back to the chaos, Remain objective in your efforts to spot deception on Saturday. If you find that someone isn't as honest as they should be, have the grace to allow that individual to make amends with his or her integrity intact, if that's possible. If not, it is what it is. Collaborate with others to manage challenges and frustrations on Saturday. I think, again, if there was a theme, it's allowing the uncomfortable truths to come up while trying to, I don't know. If you can manage all of that, fine. If you can't, it may be that the truth is more important than how it's expressed, at least in that moment. Because you're always going to have the time to say, okay, I said that crazy, but I need to talk about something, and you can apologize for your delivery, but I think that between that and then the whole idea of figuring out how you're going to collaborate with others in a way that respects people's boundaries, that delegates when needed, that gives people the ability to shine in their own right. If you're a supervisor, I just think that stepping out of the way of other people, letting them have their own experience, within, the agreed upon collaborative effort of the group, I think that you'll end up with a better solution in the end. So, but again, you could have moments, especially if that happened last week, maybe you're not done, or maybe someone else isn't done, and some uncomfortable truth needs to come out again this week. Let it happen, and deal with it and figure out what the real truth is, and because I'm sure some of it is perception based, but over time you've got to clear the air, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I think that the planets are aligning, particularly with the moon anyway. And it's not the only one. Check out the forecast every day, Monday through Friday, over on the blog at Stepping Aside, and that's the big long one, and that's got all the planetary aspects in it. So you'll find that there's more stuff going on than just what's happening, being influenced by the moon and where the moon is placed and who the moon is in aspect with. So check that out as well for more information. And also check out Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune Mondays and Thursdays every week. That can also give you a little bit of information as to what might also be going on that you're working on and trying to cope with. And I guess that's it. Oh, one thing I will tell you, I went ahead and I published Herbal Magica, which is a book of herbal correspondences. And it's not just for magic. There's also plant constituents and properties and all of that, and some preparation, the overall like decoction and infusion and liniment and tincture, that kind of stuff. I'm not telling you how to make anything per se. I'm just showing you these things because I think that if you know constituents in plants, I think you can, if you don't know what their magical purpose is, you can kind of figure it out. At least in a rudimentary way. So anyway, that's available it's available a lot of places. It's available on Amazon. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, Scribd has it now, Kobo has it, Tolino, Vivlio, Biblioteca. Let's see. Oh gosh, there's a couple others. I publish on 2 different platforms, and so I'm able to get to a lot of different places now. I used to just publish on Amazon, but I decided not to do that solely anymore. Now I'm doing it on 2 different ones. I like using Amazon's publishing tools, and so I can actually publish to them with this other place I'm using, but I'm not doing it. Because I like their cover creator. I just like being able to preview things, and I like how they do it better than I like on the other platform. The one on Amazon in one sense gives me more control, yet the other gives me more control. I don't know. I worked it out, but anyway, that's up if you want to check that out. And I've been loading more of my books that I've got published on Amazon over on Drafted Digital, so we'll be publishing them in other booksellers as well. So I have 3 more that are still locked up by Kindle Unlimited, and as soon as those are done, then I'll be putting those 3 over there as well. So anyhow, look forward to that. And I guess that's it. Have a great week, and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.